Welcome to Trucker Reacts. Got a video here about a new Volvo VNL, I think is what it's called, and a test run that was here on YouTube. We're going to check it out and see what's the big deal is with this new Volvo. Hold on, let me change this. I've been forgetting to change my thing here. Oh, that's all right. Let's do it. Let's do this. Let's see. Like I'm a rookie or something. I am a rookie. YouTube rookie. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's get the full screen and we'll start the video and look at this test run of the new Volvo VNL. Here we go. Yeah, this is not.
Joining me on this ride is Volvo Product Marketing Manager Dwayne Teagles.
So, yeah, just as we mentioned, we're at 69,280 pounds today.
Hauling miscellaneous goods.
Miscellaneous goods, yes. We have a beach in the back, nothing but sand.
I'm interested to see how our fuel economy does. This powertrain delivers 7 to 10% fuel economy improvement over prior generations. As we started the drive, Dwayne explained where Volvo got that 7% to 10% fuel economy gain, and it's not all from the engine.
But, you know, when people think about fuel economy, the one thing they always gravitate to is the engine. You know, we did improvements on the engine internally, just those little internal changes. We've captured about 3%. But when we look at the overall truck, we're looking at up to 10% difference. So where does the other part of this come from? Well, it comes from, you know, the aerodynamics that you see here with the...
Let's go back to that picture a minute. Let's see, right there.
Up to 10% difference. So where does the other part of this come from?
Oh, wow.
Well, it comes from...
There it is. And what do you think? How's it look? Does it look... It's like a mix between a Prostar and a Cascadia.
You know, the aerodynamics that you see here with the windshield's wrapped around, it's slanted back significantly at a greater angle, and the cab is wedge shaped.
Wow,
wheel closeouts, cab extenders. Fuel economy is one of those things that's really death by 1,000 paper cuts. All those things combined make a big difference.
To make the most of this increase in efficiency, I made sure to use some of the truck's fuel-saving features, like adaptive cruise and eco roll. Wait a minute, I've got most of this thing on auto mode. I mean, this is like level 2 autonomy here. I'm just the meat in the seat, so to speak.
Right. On these hills, as you start to crest over the hill, the clutch disengages with the engine and the transmission. And that's what we reference as far as eco roll. So then the engine starts to just idle, and then we're just taking momentum down the hill. So that's where it gives us some extra fuel economy. But yeah, right now you're just rolling. There's no engagement of any of the powertrain right now.
And I'm getting 23.5 miles per gallon.
That's fantastic.
33.6,
right.
58.8, 235 miles per gallon.
How about a long incline?
Like at that point, you're putting fuel back in it.
Right, that's how it's going.
EcoRoll is tied to Volvo's IC system, which anticipates the terrain ahead to manage the truck's momentum and limit throttle input.
How do we disengage and engage that clutch? Where do we do it? You know, we're consistently knowing the terrain, so IC knows where this truck is on this road, so it knows the road and its terrain. You'll see a little mountain light up there. If it's actually functioning on the bottom of the screen, it'll turn green. And that means IC is engaged, so it knows the road at that point in time. And then, again, it'll engage and disengage that clutch and trying to get that vehicle to roll as far as it possibly can.
Looks like we're fixing to hop on the interstate.
That's what it looks like. Going on 26 West.
26 West.
As we merged onto the interstate, Dwayne asked me how I balanced using the mirrors with the new camera system. Since federal law still requires traditional mirrors, the VNL still comes with them, but you can also spec on the new camera system.
So are you using the monitors or are you using the mirrors?
A combination of the two. I like to use the monitors when we make a turn like that, just to confirm I'm not going to clip the curb, but I also watch the mirrors for A lot of times it's just out of habit.
Yep.
The camera mirror system and the traditional mirrors, they work together really well. It's a system of safety redundancy as far as I'm concerned. So if I look at my mirror and I can see a vehicle in the mirror, I can look at the camera system and it gives me a better idea of exactly where that vehicle is along the side of the truck. Specifically, if it's a little bit further back, closer to the trailer where you know it's...
That's a good thing to hear that regulations still require traditional mirrors. So you have the camera mirrors if something goes wrong with your electronic system, which is very possible. You never know. And then you're screwed. You're screwed. So one regulation that I can stand behind, side mirrors are still required.
There, you can see it a little bit, but the camera's going to pick it up because the camera goes all the way down the side of the trailer. So it's a superior safety layer, but it's very complementary of the traditional layers. I wouldn't say that it's a replacement for traditional mirrors because traditional mirrors are required by law. But if you give them a chance and you will use them as a supplement to your traditional mirrors, I think there's absolutely a place for a camera system on a tractor. That engine brake I was looking for, it kicked in a little bit later than I wanted it to, though. Highway driving also gave me a chance to test some of the truck's safety features, like Volvo dynamic steering. The thing that really stands out about this truck is the Volvo dynamic steering, which sort of adjusts how much weight and how much input the driver needs to put into the wheel based on how they want it to turn. So in instances where you're going to do a lot of maneuvering, you probably want a lighter wheel. In instances when you're wanting to go faster, you probably want a heavier wheel. That's all selectable through a display screen to the driver's immediate right. And it's fully customizable, so you can kind of make it do what you want it to do when you need it to do it. That customization works both ways. The lane keeping assist piece of Volvo's dynamic steering dinged me a couple of times, reminding me to focus on driving. Focus on driving. What do you think I'm doing?
Yeah, that would drive me nuts. We probably got a little beep goes with it. Everything beeps. More distractions than necessary.
When it feels that you're wandering a little bit in the lane, it'll throw that up.
The system detected that I had pinged from the left side of my lane into the right a couple of times. While I never left the lane itself, the system offered a warning because it sensed that I might be getting tired. After traveling at highway speed for a little over an hour,
I know where they're at.
I got a clear sense of the cabin environment and just how quiet this truck really is.
It is pretty quiet.
The inside of a conventional tractor has not been what I would call loud in a very long time, but this cab is surprisingly quiet. It doesn't take a lot of road noise. You don't get a lot of engine noise. You don't get a lot of noise in general. It's really easy to talk in there. It's really easy to hear. And I can tell you, this is probably the quietest conventional tractor I've been in a very long time. Dwayne explained that much of that quiet ride comes from the powertrain itself, with peak horsepower delivered at a lower RPM, cutting both noise and vibration.
Here's the thing that you'll notice in the Volvo. You notice that the engine RPMs aren't very high. It's not screaming at you. This engine makes peak horsepower right at 1300 RPMs. Some of the older engines with higher numeric ratios, historically they've been used to that engine a little bit higher RPMs, and that kind of feels like it's power. But this engine makes 455 horse right at 1300 RPMs. And that gives us noise and vibration, and definitely at a lower level. It gives us a nice quiet environment to talk in.
As we wrapped up our 90-mile drive, Dwayne circled back to Eco-Roll, asking what I thought after nearly 2 hours behind the wheel.
So what's your thoughts on this Eco-Roll functionality?
When it's doing its thing, you don't even really think about it. Like it's, I guess, unobtrusive. Well, I mean, even, I don't know if you noticed, but when we got where it bunched up a little bit and I got on the engine brake, as soon as we got out of it, I flipped it back up to A. And I like driving with an engine brake on just because I like that supplemental brake, even if it's, on a lower setting.
Yep.
But I don't know why you would ever turn that off. Like what we're doing now, I don't know why you'd have the engine brake on at all. So we just pulled into the Welcome Center in the state of North Carolina. That ends our roughly 90-mile journey from South Carolina to here.
We made it. Fantastic.
It was a very uneventful drive, which is just the way you like it. Volvo built this new generation VNL as 90% new over the prior generation. I had asked the question, is 90% new make it 90% better? I would say it's at least 90% better. This is a very comfortable truck. It's a very strong truck. We tugged 70,000 pounds through half the state of South.
There's a picture. Well, yeah, what's your thoughts on the looks of that thing?
South Carolina into North Carolina and still managed to get 9 miles per gallon. And I am not a fuel efficient driver. That's not one of my driving superpowers. So I was very satisfied with that. Very technology forward truck here. A lot of fuel friendly technologies will help guys like me, and a lot of safety technologies that we didn't have to use, but they were actually there. Thank goodness we didn't have to use them. So I would say, as far as prior generation to new generation, the new Volvo VNL.
Oh, I have an issues there. Like I said earlier, it's kind of like a mix between a Cascadia and a Prostar. That's my opinion there.
Is a home run.
That's what I think.
I mean, this has just been great, free and easy. We hadn't had any, and I don't mind traffic. It's crazy people that I don't really care for. Haven't really had any crazy people. Everything's just kind of gone the way it needs to go.
Go more than 90 miles.
Yeah, this is not a stressful truck to drive.
Yeah.
Take the truck down. Take the truck down. What am I doing here? Let me see. Take the truck down to Atlanta about 4:30, 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Come down 85 South. Go around the top part of the loop, back down to 85 South. See how you like all them bells and whistles. I don't know. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe it'll make things worse. I don't know. But on the open road, it'd be a nice truck, if you're going to stretch your legs out. Say you're going out west, across the plains or somewhere it's wide open, across the desert, where it's 80, 85 miles an hour. Open that thing up. If it'll go that fast. So open it up, set the cruise, and just lean back. Yeah, that might be all right. But around city driving and all that, I'm not sure. Like I said, I think it looks like a lot like the a mix between a Cascadia and a Prostar. That's just my opinion. That's what I see. Let me know what y'all think about this situation. Would y'all buy one of these? I had a friend that had a Volvo. I was never a big fan of the Volvo, but I had a friend that bought a brand new one, and at one of the truck shows, I think it was Dallas. Been hanging out in his truck, and he had a nice sleeper and everything, big, and he had about 8 of us in there BSing one night, and there's still plenty of room in that thing. So it's a big sleeper, big cab, big sleeper, and it's a nice truck. But as far as buying one, I don't think I would. All right, so that's it for this video. Appreciate everybody watching. Everybody have a good day and stay safe.